Hey everybody, wake up. This is Wake Up with Mark Joyner, episode number 83, and today we'll be talking about the Superhuman6.com 7-day challenge, day 7, and marking your mental territory. All right, this is day 7. If you've been following along with us this whole time and you've been doing it every day and you've been consistent, congratulations. Pat yourself on the back, but I don't need to do that. You already feel good about yourself. I can guarantee it. If you did it for 7 days, if you completed the challenge, your self-esteem has risen. The way you feel about yourself has changed. It's inevitable. It is the inevitable result of sticking with something, with fighting through the battle that we need to fight through. The opposite is when you give up, you feel terrible about yourself. And then what do? You go off and you play your video games. You watch your YouTube videos. You turn on your binge watching shows. You go to your food. You go to wherever your little comfort zone is, wherever your escape route is. But remember what we talked about yesterday. There's no actual escape. It's all an illusion. It's an illusion. You have to fight the fight. You've got to do it. But the rewards are awesome. The rewards are awesome because every day you fight that battle, you get stronger and stronger. You get tougher and tougher. It's a great, amazing thing. It's a wonderful facet of the design of this universe. Now, let's talk a little bit about how this works. I was watching this morning as I did my morning routine. We've got these 2 dogs in the house, and I've gotten quite close with these dogs. I've never been a dog person, but now I'm kind of by default a dog person because I love these 2 dogs. And they're teaching me a lot. I watch them a lot. When I get out on the balcony, when I do my morning routine, when I'm doing my animal flows and my Wim Hof breathing, all this stuff that you guys may have heard about if you've watched my earlier videos where I describe my routine that is tied to the time of the sunrise. If the dogs are not already there waiting for me, I'll just, call them around and they'll just run up and they'll give me some dog love, and then they will hang out while I do my routine. It's kind of part of our little morning ritual that we've got. Now, part of what they do though is they are out there perched on the balcony. This is a pretty massive house. They've got like 3 levels of balconies that these dogs can be on. They're always perched out looking around. And they're looking for the other dogs in the neighborhood that are coming around marking off their territory. And there's 2 dogs that they're always having this battle with. And I see these dogs coming in and they'll make little incursions in the territory of our dogs, and they might even pee, and then our dogs have got to go in and mark the territory and then push the territory out. And I can see that there's this constant back and forth battle between the 2 sets of dogs. There's the 2 dogs down there, there's our 2 dogs. Let's imagine that our 2 dogs are the 2 good dogs, the dogs that represent, no offense to the people down the road if they know who I am, if they watch these videos. I haven't met y'all. I have no idea what you guys are all about. I'm just making a metaphor here, so no offense to you. You're probably good people. All right. Let's imagine, though, that our 2 dogs are the good dogs that represent your good habits, you being your best self, you fighting through your challenges, you not shirking your duties, but you saying, okay, I've got to get X, Y, and Z done today. I will do it, even if I don't feel like I want to. That's the good side inside of you. That is the plus entity that they talked about inside the magic story. Now let's imagine that the other dogs are the minus entity of the magic story, that they are the lazy, slothful, snippy, passive-aggressive, mean, nasty dogs. Both of these dogs exist in our minds, both of these types of dogs, and they are constantly marking out territory. The territorial battle is constantly happening in our subconscious mind. If you were to imagine the subconscious mind as a field of terrain, the amount of terrain that is captured by either of these dogs is going to determine your behavioral patterns. Why? Because most of our behavior is determined at the unconscious level. Most of what you're doing throughout the day is kind of automatic. You're not really thinking consciously about most of what you're doing. This is why habit is so powerful, because once you get a habit established in the right direction, it keeps pushing you. It's like this snowball that's been rolling downhill and it gets momentum and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's actually a pretty good metaphor. Why? Because Once that snowball rolls down the hill, it's got its own momentum and it gets bigger. And that, in fact, is what happens when we continue to do things over and over again. The momentum kicks in, it starts to become automatic, and then the effect of these things compound. Now, here's the thing, we've got dogs all around us, the minus entity dogs, the nasty, mean dogs, the lazy, slothful dogs. We've got them making incursions on our mental territory all day long, all around us. Every billboard that you drive past almost is making a negative incursion into your mind. Most of the advertising that you watch is making a negative incursion into your mind, especially if you're watching the stuff on the television. Man, that is some nasty, nasty stuff. When you understand what's going on at a psychological level, when they are associating with junk food images like sexy bodies and good, happy feelings with your family, man, they are going deep into your mental territory trying to muck things up. They are peeing on your mental territory in the worst possible way. Why? Because you have this mental association in your mind, and then when you feel the need for human contact, or you want to feel attractive, or you want any of the things that they're trying to associate their poison with, you will turn to their poison. That's how effective that stuff is. If it didn't work, they wouldn't keep paying for the advertising. All right, so do some research about this stuff if you don't understand how powerful advertising is, if you don't understand the deep effect that it has on our unconscious mind. But it's not just advertising, it's all the people we're around. All the people we're around. It's the environment that we've built around ourselves. All right, and we can go out and we can mark that territory for the positive, or we can allow passively other things to come in and make incursions on our territory and change us. Change us. It actually changes us. So we've got to get in there and actively mark out our territory, but you got to remember, the incursions never stop. Those dogs are never going to stop coming up trying to take the territory of our dogs, right? It's never, ever, ever going to end. I've been watching this for many days now, and it's very fascinating. I had never really seen this, especially from this vantage point, as we're kind of high up on this hill. I can see this whole thing going down, and it's very, very interesting to watch. And it is, in fact, a very apt, I think, and beautiful metaphor for what goes on in our minds. If those two dogs, if anything were ever to happen to them, I guarantee you 2 other dogs are going to show up, or some other animals, something. It's just the design of the universe. You have got to take active, constant responsibility for marking off your mental territory. Now that your 7-day challenge is over, and by the way, I'm hoping a lot of people will come in the future and go through the 7-day challenge on their own. You don't, just because you didn't do this in real time with me and some of the folks who've been doing it, that's fine. You can come back and you can do this anytime. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Okay, but once it's done, what I really want you to walk away with is not just the habit of doing the Superhuman 6 every day, which I think is a fantastic idea. Thomas has done something really wonderful. This is a great, great contribution that this young man has made for the world, and we can all benefit from it. But not just that, but to get in there and mark your overall territory. And it's not just about your physical health, it's about your mental health. It's about your emotional well-being. You got to get in there, you've got to take an active role, you've got to mark off your territory, and that means taking control of your environment. That's your physical environment around you. What does it look like in your space? Is it conducive of you becoming the person that you want to become? Who are the people that you are around? Is what they are saying to you contributing to building up that empire that you're building, that territory, that unconscious territory that you are marking off? Are they contributing to that, or are they making incursions? If they're making incursions, deal with it. Deal with it somehow. Have a talk with them. Okay, here's the thing. They're going to come to you and they're going to say, aren't you tough enough to handle a little bit of sniping? Yes, you probably are. But there's a saying they have in Korean. They say, I think it's 열 번 찍어도 안 떨어지는 나무 없다. What that means is, pardon me to my Korean friends, my Korean's a little rusty these days. I don't speak much Korean, but what it means is there is no tree that will not be knocked down with 10 strokes. Okay, everything crumbles with repetition, with time. Even the Grand Canyon, okay, that was carved out over time by streams of water, so we hypothesize. We know that erosion, just from a wave hitting a rock over and over and over and over and over again, will completely erode a rock down to nothing. That's what happens in your mind when you have friends who are sniping at you, okay? Who are insulting you, who are not building you up, all right? Who are telling you that you should be less than, telling you that you should give up, subtly undermining you. And if they ask you, can you deal with it? You tell them there's no tree that won't fall after you strike it 10 times. Water can erode rocks over time. Shut up with that stuff if you want to be my friend, okay? There's a way to be funny about it, and that's cool, but if it's constant sniping, I ain't going to be around it. I'm sorry, my psyche is too important. Now, some people would be like, well, aren't your friends important? Yes, my friends are important, but somebody who does that to my mind is not my friend. They're either going to get their mind right, they're going to be part of my kingdom, they're going to be part of my territory, they're going to be part of my path, they're going to support that, or they're going to go bye-bye. That's it. I'm going to be ruthless about that. Does that make me a bad person? No. That makes me a sovereign person who has control of his own mind. Okay, so it's your physical environment, it's your social environment, it's your digital environment. What are you exposing yourself to? Every single way you can imagine, everything around you should be set up so it's conducive of putting that right information into your head. You want to mark off as much territory as possible, and the more you do it and the more consistently you do it, the more momentum you're going to get. Is that I'm mixing metaphors here. The more momentum you're going to get as that snowball rolls downhill, and that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Your territory is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And what that means is you are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. It's going to start out feeling a little bit like a little bit of pride. I made this battle. And then you're going to start to get conviction about who you are and who you want to be. And then that conviction is going to turn into an obsession, a healthy obsession, an obsession of maintaining that territory. And when you're in that zone, God help everyone who tries to get in your way. All right, you guys, you have a beautiful day. I may not be doing these videos for the next couple days. I've got a speaking gig in Kuala Lumpur on Saturday and then one in Bangkok on Sunday, and I'm flying tomorrow, but I will for sure be back in on Monday. Maybe I'll squeeze in a video or two in the airports or here and there, but I got a pretty full schedule. We'll see what happens. I will talk to you guys when I talk to you. Until then, have an awesome time. Mark off your territory. Do it consistently. Take control of your life. Regain your sovereignty.